Looking at you.
Yeah, but have you pressed it?
I can. You just.
Hi, good morning. My name is Henna, student reporter and representative of the Emirate Youth Portal. I'm honored to have with me this morning co-founder and managing editor of Triple W Middle East, Mr. Paul Kelly. Thank you for the interview this morning.
Thank you, Hannah.
Let's start with how was the idea of Triple W born?
Well, we started it, the site went live about a year ago, but we've been planning it a long time before then. And what it was we saw, being a musician myself, we saw an opportunity to really help other musicians, and that's how it started. We were trying to look at places like, we didn't know where the artists in, what they were doing in Beirut, for example, or Cairo, or Bahrain, or somewhere like that. And we kind of found that in your own city, it's easy to locate those artists, but when you're looking at the regional sense, and you might want to be going to that place, or you might want to just get in touch with another band or musician or whatever, we found that really difficult on a regional scale. And then that sort of rolled onto film, and we started to see the same things because we're very interested in film, and one of the other co-founders of photographer, and so all of that sort of came together, and we started to build this thing really as
Put
a way,
everything together.
and a way for people to sort of connect and really to share their stuff. But then also, we thought, there needs to be a bit more than that, because there's lots of other sites around that do that on a global scale. So how do we make this relevant to people in the region? So we thought, it's time to connect with different partners. So we got involved on the music side with EMI, the record label, and the Abu Dhabi Film Festival, and people like that, and to really sort of give opportunities to musicians, filmmakers and photographers to sort of take the next step.
Okay, and we hear y'all are hosting a lot of competitions ranging from photography to music as well as the film competitions.
Yeah.
So let's begin with the film competitions.
Yeah.
We hear there are two, so would you like to brief us about that?
Yeah, there's two competitions, and what we did there was we teamed up with Nokia, and what they've done with their new phone, the E6, is it's all about being connected and very easy to connect. And globally they do a lot of stuff to do with film. So they've decided to do things in the Middle East. The one film competition is a 2-minute film, and that's about life before mobiles, or what life might be like without a mobile phone, and how potentially it might be difficult, or it might be time consuming to actually do anything, meet with friends, all that sort of thing. So how easy communication, how much it's become a part of us. And then the other thing is an alternative one, so it's to make a 15-second commercial for the phone, which the company will use. In some, we don't know which way yet, but they'll use it. And that's just all about, what your interpretation of what the brief is of their product. So it's a bit like an advertising challenge in a way, but it's also, it can be fun as well.
And how long do the viewers have for this competition?
There's another 3 weeks to enter till the 30th of August, but that might be extended by 1 week, because we've had some requests for that. So if not, then it'll be about the 7th of September. And they just have to submit either their 2-minute video or their 15-second commercial, and it can be as simple as a one-shot piece, or it could be, if you really want to get into editing, you can do that. You can do whatever you want, and it's very open, and it could be in Arabic or English.
So it's very personalized.
Yes, yeah, and you just simply load that up, and then there'll be, and how the winners are decided is that there's judges, and then there's also a public choice award as well. So there's two angles to it, and it's not just a popularity contest. Yeah, so that, and we think that's very important. That the films are being judged properly.
And moving on to the music competition, how does that work?
Yeah, well, we've basically decided that Makshuf Music should be a platform that gives artists opportunities all through the year, not just a one-off sort of competition, but we have to launch it with something. So with our partners, EMI, they own Capitol Records. So what we're doing is we're sending musicians, whether it's 1, 2, 6, whatever, to Los Angeles to go to Capitol Records, to meet the guys there, see these studios that people like Frank Sinatra, the Beach Boys, like classic artists, as well as modern ones like Beastie Boys and all those sort of guys as well, recorded there. and then they'll be playing a gig and all that sort of stuff. So those will be open until we'll be deciding that. I'm just trying to remember the end of September,
Okay.
and then they'll be basically sent at the end of October for that experience. And all we have to do for that is to load up the original music. It's not so much about covers. And but it can be any genre. So if you're metal, hip hop, DJ, rock, just play a guitar and sing. Load it up and get a profile, and then basically that's the next step. And then what happens is one of the judges, which we'll hopefully be announcing soon, come from EMI, will listen to that and say, these guys should get given that opportunity.
Yeah.
And so we're hopefully going to be doing a lot more of that kind of thing over the course of the rest of the year and next year.
And can these be, is this supposed to be individual, or it could be a group, like
Could
a
be,
band?
yeah, bands, anything's fine. That's really what it's about. It's open to all, and hopefully, as I said, we move on. Perhaps if there is a certain opportunity for people, who might be a DJ or hip hop, or might just play a guitar and sing,
Exactly.
or it could be a band. So we'll give different opportunities as well.
And we also hear you're in collaboration with SAE.
Yes, yeah.
So would you like to tell us something about it?
Yeah, well, what we're doing with SAE, which is really great, is we're doing a series of sort of web TV episodes, and what they are with producer Dylan Ellis, who's a local music producer. We're getting together and making basically a series of web TV episodes about what it is to be a musician in the Middle East, like how you can take that next step, how the business works. So we're going to have interviews in it from people from record labels, things like that, saying, what they're looking for in an artist is this, and this is how you can sort of go to the next step. And we're going to look at things like what would a band do, what would a DJ do, and what would perhaps a singer do.
Okay.
Very different types of music, but the story is the same as it goes through. And we'll also look at the Arabic music industry as well.
Okay. To bridge the gap between.
Yeah, and that'll be a very interactive kind of series as well, and it'll be a great resource. So for any kind of musician in the Middle East, and we'll be again focusing on the Arabic content as well. And so what we'll do there is that will sit there, and that'll be kind of like a toolbox for anybody to use to help them get to the next level. And that's where SAE are coming in, is obviously that's what they do, and that's what they're renowned for doing all over the world. So yeah, that's what we're really looking forward to, that launching.
And what would you like to achieve from all these competitions? Like, what's the one aim that you're now?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's interesting, but what I'd really love to see is these artists go on to the next step. So if it's the music, for instance, and someone whoever gets that opportunity comes back and perhaps decides to go to the next level somehow, whether they get signed or they decide to do it themselves and release a song, and something gets taken up by the radio or something like that, or if it's a filmmaker, like that film to be shown somewhere. For that guy to get his, or girl, sorry, to get the next step, and that's really what we want to see. We want to see these people kind of take charge and really sort of take that next step.
Okay. And lastly, what word of advice would you have for those who have entered the competition and those who wish to be a part of it?
I think, whatever you're doing, I think don't make something to try and win something. Always make, whatever it is, whether it's your music or whether it's a film or whether even it's photography, don't have your end goal as I want to win something, I want to do this. Like, you've got to stay true to your art and what you're good at, and then go from there. And that always shines through. Like, you might see a film where somebody, has made something to achieve just to win something, and it's never as good as something that somebody's passionate about, especially with art, because it's so expressive.
And it takes away from the creativity.
Exactly, yeah, and you can always sort of tell when people have tried that bit too hard rather than following their heart. And I think that's, just do that. That would be my one piece of advice.
Thank you so much, and we're honored to have you today with us.
Thank you very much. It's been great.